Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the pod. This is episode number 130 and number 18 of the weekly recap. So this week, let me see. So coming off of 4th of July weekend last weekend, that was super fun. Got to spend a lot of time outside, a lot of time with friends and family. And it was like, I don't know, it was just all really fun. And I was grateful to be able to do it. And it was just like a whirlwind, basically, because we got in super late Thursday night. And then basically we just had plans constantly the entire time. And we drove home on Sunday and right into the week. So it was a busier weekend. And then like this week went by pretty quickly, if I'm being honest. But my knee is a little bit flared up. My right knee is a little flared up after the travel weekend. I'm not sure if it was from some of the training that I did last week, or it's from the cumulative time in the car, or a mix of both. But my right knee has kind of been bugging all week. So I did not run today. I did do a Zone 2 bike ride yesterday, but like I didn't run today because I was like, I don't feel like it's going to be smart because my knee is flared and I want it to feel better before I run again and put that pressure on it. Oh, whoa, I just moved in my chair and it squeaked. Sorry. But anyways, other than the knee kind of being flared, well, my back has kind of been bugging. I don't know. It's kind of like, what's happening to me? But travel does kind of mess up my body sometimes in terms of like, I typically don't feel the best after, having to sit in the same position for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, I don't know. So anyways, but still got in 3 strength workouts this week, a bike ride, been getting in my steps, all the things. So on this kind of like personal / life. Other than that, some like business thoughts I wanted to share in this weekly recap was this week I did some reflections for mid-year and kind of getting my mind right for the rest of the year. And like at the beginning of the year, you set this plan for your business, a rough outline of the entire year of how things are going to go. And then you like reiterate and update as changes or whatever. And so I just needed to update my, progress on how things are going this year and what I intend to accomplish and get done before the end of the year. So that felt good because I kind of felt a little cluttered because things have shifted, have changed. And like a big thing that has shifted and changed is I'm completely revamping my coach's education mobility makeover. I'm restructuring it, and it just needs to be redone. I went through 2 rounds of it, and there's just some crucial changes I need to make and get it ready and prepped to submit for CEUs for coaches. So that's obviously a giant project. But yeah, so I'm sharing that because like at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I'm going to run, 4 rounds of mobility makeover and whatever. But, ran 2 rounds of it, 1 round this year. And I was like, this could be better / it just needs to be better so I can reach more people and more coaches. And yeah, so that's kind of like a behind the scenes revamp. That is a giant project that is happening. And so because of that, business wise, my main focuses are filling my one-on-one client roster, selling more copies of the Movement Library, probably be pushing that more in the fall once I'm doing updates. So like updates for mobility or for the movement library is happening now too. So anyways, just like quite a bit of shifts and changes. And yeah, so something that I had to do this week / I feel like I've had to do a lot is like reminding myself of my why. Why am I running my business the way that I am? Why am I helping the people the way that I am? Why do I want to grow my business the way I want to grow? And this has been really important for me to kind of come back around to, because it is important for any coach to come back around to, because when things get hard, you're gonna need to remember why you're even doing this, and it has to be deeper than the surface level answer. And you have to be willing to, you have to believe in your why so much that you have to be willing to reiterate if things don't work the first time around, or if things don't work like you wanted them to the first time around. But remembering like the core why and mission behind what you're doing will keep you going. And if you don't remember that, you're probably going to quit and probably going to stop, because this shit is not easy, like ever, no matter what. And I'm in the middle of gonna be my biggest year in business, and like it's still so scary because you have more to lose. You have more on the line, the more money that you start to make, and the more nervous you get about like almost like losing it all in like the worst case scenario. It's just more to hold, right? Like it's just more to hold on your system, on your mind, and like a deeper level of trust that you have to develop in yourself. And it's just not easy. It's not easy. So remembering your why is super important. So I had to really like revisit my why for why I want to help coaches and why I'm revamping this whole course and like all of that. And yeah, because part of me was like, should I just scrap this and not even do it? But my why is super strong, and I believe that there are coaches out there that want high level programming skills when it comes to mobility issues, and they shouldn't have to pay $1 bajillion to learn this. So, and like, coaches need help learning how to program for these things, right? It's not just like learning the information. It's like, how do you implement it? Coaches have an implementation problem. And anyway, so I had to like revisit that and just be like, yes, this is still important to me. And yes, I still want to do this. And even if the revamp totally flops, it's still worth it to me. And I will keep trying until I figure out if something works. But anyways, and then, similarly with like working with people one-on-one too, like it's draining. It is really draining to work with people one-on-one, especially when they're working through injuries and all of that. Like it is just a lot. But at the end of the day, I love helping people in this way. And I believe the work that I do is really powerful. And I know that there are so many more people out there in the world that could benefit from a coach like me and the knowledge that I have. And so for that reason, like, you just have to keep going. Like, literally, these are the pep talks that I was having with myself this week. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about this side of running a business, but it is super real. And then that kind of brings me to something I did this week that I feel like is super valuable, is using voice memos for thought spirals. So if you're listening to this and you have your own podcast, you know that like podcasting is like super fun because you can just get your thoughts out and just kind of share things, right? And then you like, wow, that felt really good to share. And if you're somebody who notices you're having like a thought spiral, pause, open the voice memo app in your phone, and you just rant through the thought spiral on your voice memo. And this is not something that anybody's going to listen to, really. This is purely just for you. But this has helped me a lot this week with just getting the thoughts out of my brain and speaking them out loud, and then they're just done. Instead of just like ruminating and continuing to go down the thought spiral, just trying to be like, okay, stop, let me talk through this. And like, I felt so much better after doing that when I did that this week. And so I recommend that if you are somebody who's noticing like, oh, I'm going into a thought spiral right now, and you just don't want to like ruminate in it, speak it out. Speak it out loud. Speak it to your voice memo on your phone. And nobody's going to listen to it. It's just for you. And that was helpful this week. And even just like, they were only like, one of them was like 5 minutes, but my first one was only like, 2 or 3 minutes. And then I felt better, and yeah, so I thought that was something helpful that I could share. And then the last thing I'm going to share this week is a lot of the things on my to-do list right now in my business, the back end things I'm working on. A lot of it is outside of my comfort zone, and that is also really hard. But I'm having to remind myself that I have to become a new version of myself to be able to accomplish what I have not accomplished before. And the constant evolving that is required when you run your own business, when you run a personal brand, is like, it's just a lot, and it's not for everybody, but it is a requirement to be able to grow and keep going. It's like you have to evolve as a person and as a human being. You have to gain new skills. You have to be willing to be bad at things when you first try them, but it's all a part of stepping into that next version of yourself and creating the life that you want. So if this is you out there, keep going. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Remember your why, and just know that not everyone feels super great all the time, right? Like, there are ups and downs, and what matters most is that you just keep going and working towards whatever you're working towards right now, whether you run a business, whether you're on a fitness journey, whether you are developing a new skill, or, really whatever. But yeah, so that is it for today's weekly recap. And if you listen to these, I appreciate you. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you should be. Coach Ashley 127 is my handle. I'll put the link in the show notes. And then also, if you're a podcast listener, make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And you should also be on my email list. My email list gets special insights, tips, offers, all the things. So there'll be a link to get on my email list in the show notes as well. But thanks for being here. I will talk to you next time.